2020 has certainly been a very interesting yet unusual year for WWE, with there certainly being some big moments to take place this year, including the rise of Drew McIntyre, which culminated in McIntyre winning the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 36 from Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns making his highly anticipated return at SummerSlam 2020 after spending multiple months on the sidelines due to the global situation, The Undertaker officially retiring from WWE at Survivor Series 2020, and many more big moments. And as most of you are likely aware, 2021 is fast approaching, and with that comes the road to WrestleMania 37 officially getting underway. There are lots of big WWE rumored plans going around regarding 2021, and in this video we will look at 5 big WWE plans rumored for 2021, with many of these big rumored plans starting at the 2021 Royal Rumble, which officially kickstarts WrestleMania season. Speaking of the 2021 Royal Rumble, this event will not surprisingly mark the returns of many superstars who are currently out of action, including the likes of Jinder Mahal, Edge, and Charlotte Flair, but we will focus on the 2 major women's division superstars that Vince McMahon is reportedly planning to have come back during the Women's Royal Rumble match, with these 2 stars being Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch. For those of you unaware, Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins officially welcomed their first child to the world yesterday, and it's now just a matter of time before both stars return, with Becky Lynch reportedly penciled in to return during the Women's Royal Rumble match. But things will definitely get interesting when Ronda Rousey also returns at the Rumble, and according to a new backstage rumor, WWE planned to have Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch as the final 2 superstars in the Women's Royal Rumble match after eliminating the other competitors, with Ronda Rousey reportedly set to get the upper hand on the returning Becky Lynch and eliminate Becky from the match, with Ronda Rousey being crowned the 2021 Women's Royal Rumble match winner. As we have mentioned in previous videos, Vince plans for Becky Lynch to face off against Ronda Rousey in a singles championship match at WrestleMania 37 next year. So despite the fact that Becky is reportedly not winning the Royal Rumble next year, she will likely be winning the Raw Women's Championship prior to WrestleMania in the coming months, thus setting the stage for Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey for the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania. As we had briefly mentioned, along with Becky Lynch, who will be returning to WWE very soon at the 2021 Royal Rumble, not surprisingly, Seth Rollins will also be making his comeback to WWE on Friday Night SmackDown early next year as well. And if a new behind-the-scenes leaked rumor proves to be accurate, Vince McMahon has big plans for Seth Rollins as we begin the road to WrestleMania 37, and it appears as though Seth Rollins will arguably be in the biggest non-title match on next year's WrestleMania card if these rumors are true. As some of you are likely aware, late last year in 2019, there was quite a heated back and forth between Seth Rollins and CM Punk on Twitter, which certainly got the wrestling community buzzing, as it seemed as though WWE were secretly building up a Seth Rollins and CM Punk feud in WWE once Punk would return, and apparently Vince McMahon is currently in negotiations with CM Punk over a big WWE return next year in 2021, with Punk reportedly being a lot more receptive to hearing offers from Vince McMahon than before, as he doesn't hold the same resentment towards WWE and Vince like he used to, and is actually quite open to the idea of returning, but only if the right scenario and offer presented itself. In other words, a big amount of money and a feud that CM Punk would find interesting. According to one of our sources, Vince is trying to get CM Punk to agree to a big return contract in WWE beginning early next year, and if Punk does return, Vince plans for CM Punk to confront Seth Rollins after Seth makes his return on SmackDown, with a big match between CM Punk and Seth Rollins rumored to take place at WrestleMania 37, with Vince feeling that a CM Punk vs Seth Rollins match for WrestleMania will bring back many fans who had stopped watching WWE over the past several months, not only because of the star power of both superstars, but because there is legitimate tension between CM Punk and Seth Rollins that would make for a very intriguing storyline. As some of you are likely aware, AEW All Elite Wrestling recently revealed that they will be doing business with Impact Wrestling, and essentially crossing over both companies, with superstars from AEW and Impact Wrestling appearing in both promotions. Not surprisingly, this news has gotten many wrestling fans very excited and intrigued, and if a new backstage rumor proves to be true, WWE are very much interested in the concept of cross-promotion, and are shockingly open to the idea of doing a similar concept with AEW All Elite Wrestling next year. year, if the opportunity presents itself, with Triple H reportedly being a big supporter of the idea and claiming that WWE is very open to the idea of working with rival promotions, and Vince isn't totally opposed to working with AEW, especially now that Vince apparently doesn't feel that AEW is a legitimate threat to WWE in any way, and a crossover invasion kind of storyline angle is something that McMahon feels could truly bring back a boom period for wrestling next year in 2021, with AEW Superstars facing off against WWE Superstars to determine company supremacy, with Vince feeling an AEW World Champion Kenny Omega versus WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns storyline could draw huge ratings and benefit both AEW and WWE during this time when ratings for wrestling have been pretty low, and overall attempt to bring wrestling back into the mainstream, which would certainly boost profits for both companies. With rumors continuing to heat up that Dean Ambrose, known as Jon Moxley to AEW fans, will likely be choosing to utilize his opt-out clause in his All Elite Wrestling contract to return to WWE next year in 2021, there's lots of new speculation on when exactly Dean Ambrose would be returning to WWE, and as we mentioned before, if Ambrose does in fact return, he would be featured on Friday Night SmackDown. According to a new backstage rumor, Vince is hoping that he will be able to secretly sign Dean Ambrose in time for the 2021 Royal Rumble, with Vince planning for Dean Ambrose to be a surprise entrant in the Men's Royal Rumble match next year, and likely go on to win the 2021 Royal Rumble if he does return. The storyline WWE would then move ahead with would be Roman Reigns defending his Universal Championship against Dean Ambrose at WrestleMania 37, now that The Rock won't be able to return to WWE next year, with Vince feeling that this would be a storyline that would draw huge ratings for WWE, with Dean Ambrose rumored to return to WWE as a babyface and set out to take down the heel Roman Reigns and win his Universal Championship. Among the big WWE returns rumored to take place in 2021, arguably two of the biggest rumored returns are former Universal Champions Brock Lesnar and Bill Goldberg, and while many fans aren't very happy whenever Brock Lesnar and Goldberg return to WWE, considering they usually take away the spotlight from the company's full-time stars in the main event title pictures on Raw and Friday Night SmackDown, according to a new backstage rumor, Vince is considering the idea of having Brock Lesnar and Goldberg form a monstrous tag team next year in 2021, likely on the Raw brand, with Vince feeling that a team between Brock Lesnar and Goldberg would be a great way to boost the TV ratings with their presence, make the tag team division on Raw must-see television once again, while at the same time keeping Brock Lesnar and Goldberg away from the WWE and Universal titles. While neither star seems like the type to be in a tag team, Brock Lesnar and Goldberg are actually really good friends outside the ring, and they both reportedly like Vince's idea of trying something new by teaming up together and dominating the tag team division in WWE on Raw.